Welcome to update number 3, day 3 of month 2. Oof, we're getting there. So again, continuing with our character lineups. This one went kind of weird. I did all my practice, warm-up practice. As you guys all know, especially you guys who've been following me for the last month and a bit, you know, line work, circles, shading, squares, shapes playing with each other, all that sort of stuff. I do about 40 minutes of that, and then I get straight into my character practice, and I do a bunch of essentially anatomy lineups. Today went okay. This lineup you see in front of you is the one I chose to progress into inking and coloring. It went alright. I really tried to. I tried my first attempt at close, and on the guy on the right, yeah, close are going to be a problem. They're going to be difficult. I don't know how people do them. I need to really look into how to pay more attention to folds. I find that now walking around when I put a jacket on, or my girlfriend's wondering about, I'm just kind of paying more attention to her clothes and how the creases and folds and where the weight is and where they hang and how they fall on the body. Now I just sound very creepy, but it's totally from an artistic point of view. Yeah, they're gonna take time. That's definitely the next stage. I think I rushed ahead a little bit, trying to dress the blank dummy now. But it's the next progression. I can't just draw blank dummies for the rest of my days. The other two characters on this page are just the first guy's generic, straightforward. I think it's a really important pose to get good at. Is just the male and female facing forward. It's the most used, I think, pose. If you want to do illustration or comic art or concept art or anything like that, you need to have the basic poses down essentially. And then the woman in the middle who I was trying to have her leaning forward, reaching out, as if she's going to do some yoga practice. Yeah, very stiff, really stiff. My excuse is that the leg is being extended, so just keeping it straight. But yeah, where kind of got me most was around the booty area, where I was trying to figure out how the butt would curve as she leans forward. There's an awful lot of aspects that are making me look at human anatomy from a different perspective, I suppose, since doing this, which is interesting because I've done kickboxing and fencing and boxing all my life, and I run a fencing school, and it's interesting the certain parts of the anatomy I just didn't really know. That there's an extra layer to it when you have to break it down and draw it, but I suppose it makes sense. Moving on, we went straight into obviously inking this page. Chad the Faceless is what I like to call this guy on the left. Leaning is a pain. Yes, I don't quite understand even how the stomach folds in on itself, how to draw those lines, as you can tell. I also changed her leg, that it's now more of it's now bent, which makes more sense than having it straight on, as was in the sketch. Again, another great thing about digital art is just being able to have that freedom through using different layers to just correct things as you go. And then the guy on the right, who I just really dislike. I don't like how he turned out. I don't like how any of it worked out. But again, first time trying to put clothes on a person. I don't think the jacket came out badly, actually. The trousers, the shoes, the hat, the face. Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done with that. An awful lot that needs to be done with that. The next set of characters that I did were these. Trying to get a little bit more. I'm trying to make it more interesting now. I'm trying to give them more Um, try to make them actual characters rather than just, you know, look, here's a series of females, here's a series of males, and now they're inked and now they're colored. I want to try and actually make them into characters. 1 and 2, I like how these are going. The guy in the middle is just going to be the generic kind of bruiser kind of dude with a hammer. I like how the number 1 sketch of the woman came out. I find it a lot easier to be able to give women more of a life, I suppose, more life and more movement to their bodies. Maybe I'm just biased that way, but I find it a lot easier to do that with a female form than to do it with the male form, which I seem, as you can see on the right, number 3 is quite stiff, quite generic, quite pointy, there's not much fluidity to it. But again, it's getting a lot easier to draw these, and the great thing about these and the last 2 days is the ones I'm showing you for this month. All of these are done from memory, with no reference, which I think's good. I think the fact that I'm able to draw this from memory and start to construct kind of what's in my mind and put it on paper is getting better. I'm still doing a good bit of anatomy practice, obviously from books and tuition and things like that. But I'm trying to get these guys, these drawings I'll show you today and for the updates for the next month, predominantly from memory, because I think it's the most important way to show how the growth is going, I guess. Similar to the others, I ended up inking these. Yeah, the inking did not go well. It's getting easier to ink over the lines, the sketch lines, and pick out lines that I find. That's one of the main things as well, is from the sketches, is trying to pinpoint the lines that are very much the ones you want to keep out of the scribbles. I'm getting better at that, but the inking is still very blunt. There's no subtlety, there's no change, there's no... It is just like someone with a biro went over the dominant pencil lines, which is essentially what it is, which is an insult to all the great inkers out there. But I will get better, I hope. I will try my best to get better, I suppose is what I should say. Moving from these, of course we went into colour. Colour, we'll go back to the... We'll continue with these first. Yeah, just sticking with no clothes this time on these ones, just base color, base shading. Again, still very, very stark, very, very, there's no transition between them, it's just very dark. I'm happy with it, how it's going. I think at this point, what I'm trying to really focus on is trying to get where the light's going to fall from different light sources, and I'm not worrying too much about really trying to get a kind of a subtle blend between them, which is something I'm going to try and factor in later in the month, but it's not something I want to do. I don't want to rush into, essentially. Now, there's probably some of you screaming at the screen right now being like, God damn, you need to just take a moment to blend out the edges even a little bit. True, probably, but I don't know, I guess it's just back from my background where, you know, when I was doing boxing, they just make you do footwork drills hours on end, and just, you know, I'm a person that when I go into something, a new aspect of something, I just hammer it out, and I just get that repetition in. And incrementally improve it a little bit as I go. At least that's the thought process behind it, rather than trying to, you know, jump straight into getting everything polished straight away. Yeah, I'm happy enough how these came. I really like the pose on the female. The guy in the middle I think came out well. Obviously there's no hands. Don't even look at the hands. No faces. the axe head could have been a lot better if the shading wasn't so crap. Yeah, that's annoying me now. So I'm going to move on to the final image of today, which is of course the color of the two men, and there's nothing I can say about this. I was starting to color the guy on the right, and I just did not like these ones at all. I really I really didn't like this page. Yeah, and you can see I've half-assed a lot of it. Like I haven't even tidied up the where the kind of shading's gone out beyond the lines. Yeah, I kind of looked at these and I was just like, I don't even think these are worth the time trying to get fixed up, which is unfortunate, and it's something I probably shouldn't say or do. I don't like to be a defeatist, I suppose. I begrudgingly try and get everything to be good, but yeah, these did not come out very well. But yeah, that's today's update, guys, and I hope you've enjoyed this little update. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Comment below if you've got any suggestions. I know that there's probably a lot I can do to improve these updates, but I do not know if you do not tell me, so any suggestions would be very much appreciated. And yeah, have a fantastic day and a better tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys in the next update. Cheers.